All right, let's recap week 7. Welcome to Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Legendary, like the pathetic collapse of the New York Giants, most pathetic franchise in the world. Unbelievable.
Heath, you won. He was under a minute 15 on that.
Unbelievable. Did you hear the stat? Did you hear the stat at the end of the game? 1,602 consecutive times a team has led by 18 points with 6 minutes left in a game and won. 1,602 times. That is unbelievable. This team. Who's the biggest winner today, guys?
Bo Nix.
Oh my God. I was doing buy or sell, and I have 2 in the notes. The third one was Bo Nix is a huge bust and we should drop him. And all he did was score 44 fantasy points, which is tied for the most in the NFL this season.
You put the kibosh on it.
What a mush.
Kibosh on the Giants.
He was terrible for 3 quarters.
3.5.
3.5, yeah.
And then he gets Dallas this week. It's a great time to be a Bo Nix fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. Hope everybody's doing great. Oh, had to get that off my chest.
So which loss was worse for you?
You know what,
I knew it. I knew it.
Talk about that. Jamie, at least Jamie's doing it to my face instead of texting a friend of mine.
No, listen, I didn't.
Me on Friday night.
This was not me rubbing it in. You beat my team. I can't talk any side, and I can't say anything. But which loss was worse?
This is the worst. This is unbelievable. This is the worst. This is arguably the worst loss in NFL history.
So this loss is worse than the Hurricanes for you?
No loss when you are basically already eliminated from the playoffs can be that bad.
602.
Like who cares?
All right, biggest
You
winner.
have a better draft pick.
Who wants to get the? I'm so tired of that. Who wants to get the biggest winner today? Anyone?
I'll say Rhamondre.
All right, good. Good for
Rhamondre Stevenson, like just making TreVeyon Henderson irrelevant. Ran through, over, and around the Titans. Was it his best day of the season in terms of dominating workload?
I believe
TreVeyon only had 2 rush attempts. He scored a touchdown. I think, especially with the mega bye coming up. Oh no, he plays the Browns.
Yeah. Well, Jamie has TreVeyon as a loser, and I think you could look at this as whether or not Rhamondre is a big winner or not, because he played the Titans. They have a bad run defense. They lost Jeffrey Simmons. They have an even worse run defense. Obviously, he's a winner. TreVeyon is such a loser right now. So, Jamie, do you think TreVeyon Henderson is droppable? And furthermore, shouldn't he play for the Giants if he's this big of a loser?
Unfortunately, he's droppable in 10-team leagues. We'll see 12-team leagues how many managers can afford to drop him with the potential of what he hopefully can be. But at this point, what's that hope? What are you waiting for? It's bad. It's really bad. You have the fumbles for Rhamondre, nothing changes. You have the injury to Antonio Gibson, nothing changes. It's just they don't trust him. They obviously have no faith in him to do the things that he needs to do to get on the field and be productive. And at this point, we're going to see what injuries occur, unfortunately, and what teams need to do from a bye week situation to help fill some rosters next week. And he's probably going to be cut. I would guess what's his roster percentage right now? 92, 93% in that range.
I think it's actually. I'll double check for you. It's over 90, whatever it is.
I'm gonna guess it's mid 80s.
96.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's mid 80s by next week.
Yeah. All right. So that's Patriots backfield. Dave, give me a winner or a loser.
Well, I have a winner queued up. It's not the biggest winner of the week, but it is the best tight end or tied for the best tight end of the week. And it's Oronde Gadsden, the rookie tight end with the Chargers. His route rate went down in week number 7, but his targets went up. His yardage went bonkers. It was a game that the Chargers, A, couldn't run the ball worth a lick, and B, fell behind early. So Herbert had to throw a ton. And he was just making all sorts of plays in the short and intermediate range. He was really, really good. And he was good last week. He was obviously better this week. But I wonder if this is now going to be the next tight end that fantasy managers can gravitate toward anytime the Chargers have a matchup where you think they're not going to be able to run the ball. And that might be every matchup they have from here on out because their offensive line is in such rough shape. And their run game, clearly we got a fooled you from Kimani Vidal after his huge game in week 6. and he did bupkis in week 7 against a better Colts defense.
I thought you were going to say the next tight end that fantasy analysts can rank in the top 10 and everyone can start and they can score 3 fantasy points.
No, I think he'll be better than that. But can he be like 13 PPR points? That's where I get a little tripped up.
13.
Yeah, that would still be good. No, I get it. That would be good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
There's going to be some weeks along the way where Gadsden doesn't even get to 10. But for now, he looks good. He's a big part of this Chargers offense. And there's not going to be very many weeks where Herbert's throwing 55 times, but north of 35, I think we can see that pretty frequently.
Who's going to end up being the second best rookie tight end?
Whoa.
Oh, I mean, Gadsden is certainly in a position to be that guy.
I'd still say Fannin.
Yeah, Fannin led his team in targets, catches, and yards today, but they had a very weird game. They barely threw the ball, and it just didn't really work for fantasy. All right, so those are some winners and a loser. TreVeyon Henderson. We'll do more of those a little bit later. We've got Beyond the Box Score tomorrow in this feed, but then a few other times throughout the week in its own Beyond the Box Score feed. We have plenty of other great podcasts covering plenty of other great sports. CBSSports.com/podcasts. Go ahead and check it out. You like, combat sports, you like soccer, great soccer podcasts. We've got fantasy baseball, obviously, NBA. Just check it out. All right, let's do a little buy or sell here. Buy or sell. The Eagles are back. Jamie?
Which Eagles?
The Boston College Eagles?
Saquon doesn't feel like he's back. Saquon feels like he's very much lost.
Dallas Goedert, I guess, is back to being on our bench.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean here by the Eagles are back.
Yeah, so the Eagles, they put up how many points? They put up 28 points today at Minnesota. Jalen Hurts with 3 touchdowns, 326 yards. I don't know, felt like obviously it's disappointing for Barkley. But do you feel good about the Eagles? It's the whole storyline of the NFL season. Be like, what's wrong with the Eagles? How do you feel about them right now?
I mean, I obviously feel good about the quarterback and the 2 receivers. It's hard not to coming off of this game. And
oh, yeah. Big night for Jamie. Birthday, Jamie. We even waited till 8 o'clock for him. Sort of.
First off, you forgot this morning, so don't even try and play it off.
Oh, no, sir. He knew and insisted we say nothing on the show this morning to make you think we forgot.
Yeah, so they smash it in your face on the live show tonight.
I had no idea.
How old are you?
49.
Wow. All right.
I just want to say we're 8 minutes into our show, and we've already gotten like 3 different faces of Adam Azer. We got angry Adam. We've got interrupting Adam. We've got bold Adam.
You have not gotten interrupting Adam yet.
I haven't. I get it every week during the season. But Jamie, the question.
It was a joke. I was interrupting him. All right, Jamie. Sorry. Your thoughts on the Eagles?
It's great. Look, Hurts has been a good fantasy quarterback the entire season, despite the ups and downs. He has the ability to be great, as we see today. Whether it's his rushing totals or his passing totals when these type of things arrives, but they're not always consistent. I think in the case of A.J. Brown, this is what you're waiting for, yardage and touchdown-wise, but we've seen the targets be a little bit better and certainly the receptions be a little bit better at times. Look, Devontae Smith, this is a sell-high situation right now. Like, he has these spike games every now and then. It's the 3rd time he's been good this season. If you can flip him at some point, if you can flip him for something, that somebody thinks this is going to be consistent, then I would do that.
Okay. Saquon Barkley, by the way, averaged something like 0.27 yards, 0.17 yards before contact per carry, which is, believe it or not even his low for this season. It's just been a huge problem. He's getting hit in the backfield all the time. He actually got hurt on a play where he spun away from a tackler in the backfield. But at least Jalen Hurts came through. He threw for 215 yards on deep balls today, the most in his career. I got another buy or sell for you. It's about Matthew Stafford. But before we do that, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. Well, that's a bummer. But if this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you're going to get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. So you bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first play crosses the goal line. Try a first touchdown scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM, make it legendary. Heath, buy or sell Matthew Stafford with 3 games in his last 4 with more than 30 fantasy points and 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. Buy or sell Matthew Stafford is a must-start quarterback going forward. I know they have a bye, but after that.
I don't think he's a must-start quarterback every week of the remainder of the season, but he is someone that I would say is probably in that top 10 conversation for the rest of the season. And if he doesn't have a terrible matchup, then you're going to start him. He's playing great football. Now, today, like he's played some really, really good football earlier in the year. Today was a lot about they got inside the 5-yard line and they struggled to score running the ball, and so they threw a lot of touchdowns. 182 yards on 33 attempts is not exactly fantastic, but he's going to come back from the bye and probably have Puka and Devontae Adams and probably score a lot of fantasy points.
Anybody think he's a must start, must roster through the bye? Let's say that. Would you must roster Stafford through the bye?
If I didn't have a rock solid quarterback on my team and I saw Matthew Stafford on my waiver wire, I would add him in a heartbeat because they're having a tough time running the football in LA. And it's 5 touchdowns without Puka Nacua on the field. He's having a great year. The big worry that you have to have with Stafford is that he's old, so he could break at any point. But I think you ride this out. I think he is a top 12 quarterback rest of season. And I think he's also someone, if you're struggling at quarterback, that you can trade for dirt cheap because I don't think they're going to ask for a ton in trade for Stafford, even though he's been so great the past few weeks. But I think he's playing great. I think the Rams are playing great. Yes, the answer is yes. He should be on your fantasy roster.
What a week for old quarterbacks.
Seriously.
Stafford, Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers. I think at this point.
You?
And me, I'm not a quarterback. At this point, you'd rather have Stafford than Fields. Clearly, you'd rather have Stafford than Kyler Murray. I'm trying to think like any of the guys that were drafted as starters. Like he's going to be in the same range rest of season of guys like probably Jared Goff, just based on his up and down scenarios and performances.
How about Bo Nix?
Huh?
How about Bo Nix?
I think that would probably be a matchup situation on a week-to-week basis. But Stafford feels safer.
So
I'd rather have Stafford than Jordan Love.
Yeah, Love is struggling right now. Let's
dude, Stafford's schedule rest of the season is really enticing. The 2 games against Seattle are tough. Atlanta in week 17 could be tough, but otherwise I look at it and I see a lot of good numbers.
All right. He's on pace for 41 touchdowns. That's how many he threw in 2021 when he was the number 8 quarterback per game in 6-point, number 11 quarterback per game in 4-point, and they won the Super Bowl that year. All right. So, and that just goes to show you, like he that year, he was the number 8 quarterback. He threw for 4,886 yards and 41 touchdowns. When you get nothing as a rusher, you have to have that kind of year to be a must-start quarterback. Quick break, news and notes, early waiver wire, and more winners and losers. Plus, we'll recap every game when we come back. All right, welcome back. So Bryce Young left in the 3rd quarter with an ankle injury. They have Buffalo next week. Jaden Daniels left in the 3rd quarter with a hamstring injury. And we've seen Marcus Mariota twice, and he scored 20 fantasy points or more both times. So they have the Chiefs on the road next week. We got a few quarterbacks who were benched. Geno Smith was benched. Justin Fields was benched. And Tua Tagovailoa was benched. 2 of those could have been just...
Patrick Mahomes was benched.
Third quarter. 2 of those could have been scores.
Is there anything better than that for you? Like your team's up big, and then you see Gardner Minshew come in like that.
You get to watch Gardner Minshew. You get to watch Gardner Minshew play football as like for the 4th quarter. Yeah.
Have you got a Minshew Chiefs jersey yet? Like this is be the greatest thing ever for you.
Yeah. No. I don't know that I've ever actually bought myself a jersey. I don't really buy myself clothes.
Are you asking us to buy you a
clothes?
Gardner Minshew?
No, I'm just saying that like whatever clothes happen to show up here, that's what I wear.
There you go. And Justin Fields was benched for Tyrod Taylor, and that one did not seem like it was for the score because of the score. So we'll see what happens going forward. But Cincinnati next week. Could be starting Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Running back news, Kendry Miller left with a knee injury. Bam Knight, I guess, came back. He was evaluated for concussion. Kareem Hunt hurt his ankles. This was an interesting one because he did come back in the game, got hardly any work. We'll see how that ankle looks throughout the week. They get Washington next week. And Breece Hall is also dealing with an injury, so we'll see what his status is. He came back in the game, but these are just guys who got nicked up. Sometimes they come back, the adrenaline's there, and then throughout the week it gets worse. Brian Thomas Jr. was dinged up late. Luckily, he's going into a bye. Sean McVay's optimistic about getting Puka Nacua back after the bye. And Dontavian Wicks left with a calf injury. Tight end news, Darren Waller left with a pectoral injury. Cole Kmet left with an injury. And then Loveland had 2 of his 3 catches after Kmet left. And on the offensive line, the Eagles lost center Cam Jurgens in the first half. Saints center Eric McCoy left. The Chargers, so I know Mekhi Becton got hurt in the second half. I saw that their offensive tackle got hurt very early. Did he come back? Do we know? Was he out? Whatever. They were obviously super beat up. Chargers, more offensive line injuries. And Chiefs guard Trey Smith left with an injury, and right tackle Jawan Taylor hurt his shoulder. So we'll keep an eye on them. Sauce Gardner's in the concussion protocol. Let's see, the Colts are a little beat up on defense. Oh, yeah, Jeffrey Simmons is a big deal. So I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be a safe start next week if Simmons doesn't play. Max Crosby is a huge deal. They're going into their bye, but Max Crosby got hurt for the Raiders. The Eagles had some kind of rotational players get hurt on defense. Bears cornerback Tyreek Stevenson left with an injury. They're at Baltimore next week, then at Cincinnati. So they're going to want him back. Tennessee cornerback L'Jarius Sneed left with an injury. And the Giants, this, to be quite honest with you, is a big reason they lost. They lost 2 defensive backs in the second half. I think actually one of them in the first half. And fell apart defensively. So that's good news for Philly if Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo, 2 offseason additions for the Giants, are not back next week against the Eagles. All right. Anybody jump out as we look at an early look at the waiver wire? Jamie, I'll usually throw this one to you first. I don't think you've had really time to work on the column yet, but any names? There's quarterback injuries, but anything you come to mind?
Yeah, Mariota, and you have actually a lot of QB streamers. So Mariota and probably Andy Dalton. So 2 QB superflex options, which is pretty big going into a week with 6 teams on a bye, that you may have guys that you could pick up and start. Obviously, Joe Flacco has to be taken into account. Aaron Rodgers has to be taken into account as well. Jacoby Brissett. I mean, like, we're looking at guys that are, coming off of strong games this week that you may need to start for this upcoming week. But for the most part, at the other positions, I don't have the list in front of me. We'll have that Monday for the Fantasy Football Text.
I'm looking up Gadsden's rostership right now. It's
he's definitely available.
Yeah, 90% available.
I always struggle buying into any player when his quarterback just threw 55 passes. That's a big part of
No,
this.
I get it, but it is 2 weeks in a row, 3 of the last 5, where he's seen a pretty nice target share.
This was the interesting week, mostly because last week you didn't have Quentin Johnston. So Johnston comes back, and I think this is going to be the issue with this team. Like, Ladd McConkey really did much of nothing, right? So Keenan Allen, big game. Quentin Johnston scored a touchdown. Oronde Gadsden was great. Like, who's going to be the odd man out on a week-to-week basis, or are we going to keep guessing wrong?
Yeah. Zonovan Knight, I'd say, he kind of solidified his role. They are going into a bye, unfortunately, but he's 57% rostered. It's hard to find a starting running back on waivers.
One more week of those guys, hopefully, because I would rather see Trey Benson back.
Yeah,
yeah.
Week 10 or week 11 when he's due back.
He's eligible to play in week 10.
Okay. So,
all right.
And the Cardinals added another running back into their rotation today. Dearness Johnson is back in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
He was their
all
third.
Right. Sorry, Dave, I cut you off there. So let's do some winners and losers. And let's start with Heath. You had Rhamondre Stevenson. We talked about him. How about Travis Hunter going into his bye? What are we doing with Travis Hunter? 101 yards on 14 targets and a touch. Oh, you're muted.
Did that to Dave, and then you did it to me.
I didn't do
holding or buying. We've been waiting to see this. Did not play any defense in the first half. Made a good defensive play in the second half too. But they finally used him further downfield. Has his first 100-yard game, his first 20-point fantasy game. I know a lot of people we're going to be saying the same thing we're saying about TreVeyon Henderson, about Travis Hunter, if this was another disappointing week. And thankfully, we didn't have to wait that long.
All right, he's 70% rostered. Travis Hunter started in only 13% of leagues. Big game for him. Jamie, your winners are Jordan Addison, who's had 3 good games out of 3. 9 catches, 128 yards on 12 targets. And Devontae Smith also in that game. 9 catches, 183 yards, and 1 touchdown on 11 targets. You said Smith is a sell high. What do you think about Jordan Addison?
He's playing great. Dave and I disagreed on this one, so great call, Dave, to stick with him and start him. Just awesome to see. He got off to a great start. Had another one of those big broken plays where nobody was near him on a play to the sideline, but just continues to be a go-to option. And with teams, putting so much attention on Justin Jefferson, he's benefiting in a big way. I am curious to see what's going to happen with the quarterback situation if JJ McCarthy gets his job back, which if you watch the start of that game, it was like, why are they still playing Carson Wentz? He looked so bad, but recovered nicely to at least make this an interesting game. So we'll see what happens there from a quarterback standpoint, but clearly Jordan Addison deserves to be in the top 24 conversation on a week-to-week basis. 3 straight solid games since coming back from the suspension.
All right. Dave, ready for your winners?
Sure.
All right. So you had Oronde Gadsden. He's 10% rostered. Why don't you just throw out a few tight ends you think you would drop for Gadsden?
Well, Mayer would certainly be one of those guys, especially
Mason Taylor or Oronde Gadsden. Taylor gets
Mason Taylor's
Bengals next week.
Yeah. I don't know if I can trust Mason Taylor, but Gadsden I certainly would trust.
Fannin or Oronde Gadsden next week?
Fannon's got New England, kind of like Gadsden. I'm looking at the teams that are on bye.
Where's the meme?
Here to get away from them.
Like, where's the alien meme? Like, I'm not saying anything negative about Oronde Gadsden. I think you were right to call him a huge winner, Dave. But it's just like every week we have tight ends do stuff that we didn't rank or project them to do. And the next week we hope they'll do it and somebody else does it.
Yeah.
Meaning a different tight end on a different team or a tight end on the same. Like, are you saying Tyler Conklin is going to have a
No, I'm saying
for the Chargers?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying we put.
This was supposed to be a big week for Fannin and for Mason Taylor, and they did not do anything.
And Michael Mayer.
And we'll see what happens with Kate Otten, and we'll see what happens. I get your point, Heath. We're talking about these fringe tight ends. What I was going to ask is, like, at this point, the set it and forget it tight ends are who? I think it's McBride, it's Kittle now that he's back. I would put Kraft in that conversation. Ferguson for sure. Warren for sure. Kelce probably.
I don't know. He's a loser for me this week.
So
Ferguson, did you mention Ferguson?
It's certainly fair. Yeah, Ferguson's there.
What about Kincaid?
I mean, no. I don't think he's set it and forget it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 good target games, and he's had a couple of games where he
targets once.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when there are only 5 or 6 set it and forget it, so whatever, it does make someone like Kincaid close to that because there aren't.
Well, I mean, again, like you're tiering it essentially, right? So when you get past that group, it's okay. Then there's guys that I feel comfortable with that I don't necessarily. I'm gonna start chasing the Oronde Gadsdens, or you might be, but I like Sam Laporta. You're not dropping Laporta to get Oronde Gadsden. You're not dropping. Well, Kincaid's different. You probably would drop Kincaid for him if you feel that way. But like that next group of guys, Goddard had such a great stretch, and then he disappears.
How about Waller? Waller's somebody that came on the scene like gangbusters, and now, well, he's hurt now, but right. So maybe not the best example of someone that
right. And
dropping. It's much easier to drop him because he's hurt, but he's an example of a guy that came out of nowhere, had a big game, followed it up with another big game, and then you buy in, hoping,
right, so
hoping that he ends up being
about going case by case. In the case of Gadsden, has Gadsden now moved into that group for you, Dave?
Of set it and forget it tight ends? Absolutely.
No. The next group.
Yes.
The Kincaids, the Pitts,
right. I don't have a
Goddards,
stud tight end. Here's a tight end that's given me at least 8 targets each of the last 2 games. He's on a team that can't run the ball. He's on a team where the quarterback's running for his life. Anytime they're in a game where it could be moderately high scoring, he could end up getting north of 6 targets. That's a number that I'm looking for.
Okay,
my
so
tight end
they
from
get
next week.
Minnesota next week. They get Minnesota
On a
next
short
week, right?
week too. Yeah, short week.
So they get Minnesota. He goes 4 for 50 on 6 targets. Are you sticking with him the following week?
Potentially.
Okay.
All right. Your other winner was Daniel Jones, who scored 26.2 fantasy points at the Chargers in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. And this time he actually overcame a 3-touchdown game from Jonathan Taylor. But pretty damn good game for Daniel Jones.
I agree. And I don't know if I love him as a top 10 type of quarterback next week because he's taking on Tennessee. But then again, it's 7 weeks into the season. He's had a couple of games where he doesn't get that second touchdown that puts his numbers over the top. He really hasn't played poorly in any game. You can correct me if I'm wrong if you think he's had a real stinker through the first 7 weeks. But this Colts offense seems legit. They've got a good line. The receivers are making plays. I kind of think we just have to say that Daniel Jones has come around and he's having a good year. He's this year's Sam Darnold. By this time last year, we were pretty much all in on Sam Darnold as a must-start fantasy quarterback. I feel like we're pretty close to that point with Daniel Jones.
All right, let's get to the losers here. You said Travis Kelce was a loser. He had 3 catches for 54 yards on 3 targets. Remember, Mahomes only played 3 quarters in this game. However, he did have basically a full stat line.
35 pass attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not even a 10% target share for Kelce in Rashee Rice's first game back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you drop Kelce for Gadsden if that's the only move you can make to get Gadsden?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that.
No, you can't. I won't let you. If I were the commission, I'd reverse it.
I think it's tough to do that, but I would love to carry both tight ends because if we see another game next week where Kelce's doing nothing and Rice is getting a 30% target share, whatever it ended up being, then I think you might be able to have the guts to make that switch.
Your other loser is Kimani Vidal. He was started in 76% of leagues. He had 9 carries for 20 yards, 4 catches for 15 yards. Dave, could I make the case that Kimani Vidal is actually a winner, though? Because Hassan Haskins only had 1 carry.
Maybe, but the lack of efficiency really reared its ugly head, along with the fact that game script went against him really quickly. And maybe that's why it ended up being what it was for the Chargers and why Herbert threw a ton and why Gadsden ended up having a bunch of targets and catches. But I don't know, man. Played about 2/3 of the snaps, split third downs with the other running backs there. Haskins had a slight edge inside the 10. How do you weigh it? How do you look at him anywhere close to the same way from where he was last week? And we sat here last week saying that Vidal wasn't as good as the Dolphins made him look. We said it, but this is it's 2.2 yards per carry. And I think the Chargers' identity on offense is what it is. I think it's Justin Herbert, and I think they'll lean into that pretty often.
All right. Heath, you ready for your losers? Here we go. Justin Fields. Mike is dismayed that Heath is dissing Drake May. Mike wants to send you a shirt that says I heart Drake May in white.
As I said just about 15 minutes ago, I don't buy any clothes for myself. So if Mike wants to send me a shirt, I will wear an I Heart Drake May shirt on the show. I'll wear it on TV. I'll wear it to the mall. I'll wear it in the fall.
He wants to know what size.
I will wear that shirt wherever he would like. I'll wear that shirt on a bike.
Yeah.
Are you a large? He wants to know.
I am a large. Don't call me Marge.
All right. So Justin Fields and Xavier Worthy are your losers.
Yeah. It might be over for Justin Fields. He probably gets another chance to start this year because Tyrod Taylor's terrible. Also, and nobody was going to be good with Josh Reynolds and the rest of that wide receiving room, but he was just almost petrified to throw the football a lot of times. He's frozen in time. He doesn't turn the ball over, but he can't process to do anything other than not turn the ball over right now. So we'll see if he plays again. If he does, we'll probably rank him as a borderline QB1 because he might score 30 fantasy points. But this was also a guy you took in round 8, 9, 10 or later. And we told you to draft another quarterback with him, and you're just starting that guy from now on.
All right. And your thoughts on Xavier Worthy? Are you as low on Worthy as Dave is on Kelce?
Well, I'm not dropping him for Oronde Gadsden, but yes,
No,
it,
neither am I.
this was a very discouraging game for him because nobody, like, we knew Rashee Rice was coming back and he's the wide receiver one. Nobody disappeared. Juju was still involved early in the game. Marquise Brown was still involved and scored a touchdown early in the game. Travis Kelce, yeah, he only had 3 targets, but he was still involved in making plays. Brashard Smith is still seeing 4 or 5 targets at the line of scrimmage. And Worthy really wasn't. Now, he was dinged up and the same shoulder was bothering him again when he got pulled down by it. So maybe that had a little something to do with it. But I think right now you have to move him into whoever's in that low end boom bust wide receiver 3 range for you. And those guys are probably borderline wide receiver 2s next week because everybody's on a bye and everybody else is hurt. But it did not look like it's just Rice and Worthy. And we can definitely start them both.
Right. Well, Jamie, we'll get to your losers. It was a week of returns, right? We had Chuba Hubbard return, and they both kind of look like losers, you could argue. Right? Nobody stood out in that backfield. Dowdle was a little bit better, but Hubbard played more. We had Rashee Rice return, and Rice is back to being the man, it looks like. We did have CeeDee Lamb return, and that was fine. I mean, I don't think anybody thought Pickens was going to get, double-digit targets, but that was still good for Lamb and Ferguson, and Pickens had a solid game. So at least we had that. And if you can talk about that if you want, or you can talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, who are a collective loser for you.
Just terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. There's a buy low window on Genty because they're on their buy. So if you can get him cheap, you should try to explore that because he'll still have some good moments moving forward. And I still think, as we've said for the last couple of weeks, buy low on Brock Bowers. So with the hope that he comes back. But like Geno Smith has been terrible since the Bears game and continues to look worse. You wonder what they're going to do during their bye week from a quarterback perspective. The offensive line continues to struggle. I do think that, you want to talk about a waiver wire guy like Jack Besh is somebody that I'd have some interest in deeper leagues because we may not see Jacoby Myers play for the Raiders again. If they decide to trade him, this is that perfect opportunity, going into their bye week. So he is the one I would think would benefit the most. Trey Tucker and maybe Deontay Thornton get boosts if there's no Myers there. But I think just Besh playing more is a guy that they had, a lot of high hopes for coming out of the NFL draft. But really, it's just at this point, like Genty will be, I would think, when everybody's off bye weeks and you get some guys coming back from injury, more of an RB2 than an RB1. Bowers will still be a must-start tight end, but will he ever be back to what we thought he was going to be? Who knows at what point he'll get 100% healthy. But really, it's more about Geno and just this offense being as inept as it looked. Like they went definitely one series. It felt like maybe the entire game. It was just screen. Like there was no challenging down the field at all. And that's just awful to watch. Like their offense just looks lost.
It was one of the most ridiculous performances I've ever seen. They ran 30 offensive plays.
Yep.
30. Yeah.
The Chiefs had 30 first downs.
No. Oh my!
I believe that is correct.
30 first downs.
30 first downs for the Chiefs. 30 offensive plays for the Raiders.
That beats my stat from that game.
Which was
the Raiders didn't run a play closer to the end zone than the Chiefs' 46-yard line.
Oh yeah, that's a great stat normally, but today that is a garbage stat.
Their time of possession. I did destroy you in that. They had 17 minutes and 52 seconds of time of possession.
Yeah, 30 plays is unbelievable. What's league average? Like in the low 60s?
Yeah. Right around 60 most years.
Yeah.
They played a half.
30 first downs. Looking right at it on the NFL game feed. That's incredible.
All right, so. We have some games to get to. Before we do that, let's take a look at the almost touchdown. So close. Justin Jefferson had an almost touchdown, and then 2 plays later, Jalen Naylor had a touchdown called back. Romeo Doubs was open, would have been about a 45-ish yard touchdown, slightly overthrown. Bo Nix could have had an even better game. Well, probably not because the one had that frantic comeback effort, but he missed a wide open Garrett Bowles, their left tackle, in the end zone. So
what a stupid play call.
He was wide open.
Okay, and Bo Nix got crushed on the play because his offensive lineman was out running routes. He couldn't throw it to him. The guy's got a brace on his arm. I mean, like, what are you trying to do here? You're down 13-0. That's a play you run when you're up 13 points.
Yeah, well, they had him right where they wanted him.
And it worked out great.
Ladd McConkey they had the Giants right where they wanted him. Ladd McConkey was wide open. Ladd McConkey actually had 2 almost touchdowns in this game.
And he still scored 15 fantasy points, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really notice anything too major at the goal line. Kyle Monangai got a goal line touchdown. It kind of followed up his own almost touchdown. He got stopped at the 1. They let him score. That's pretty much it. Wasn't a eventful day at the goal line. So let's take a break because it was an eventful day around the NFL. And we'll recap all the games beginning with the London game with the Rams statement 35-7 over Jacksonville. We'll talk about it after this.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
All right, we're back. Rams 35, Jaguars 7. Heath, let's do it.
Kyron Williams has a Blake Corum problem.
Don't quite believe it.
Don't believe it.
They had the same number of rush attempts in this game?
They did, but in the first 3 quarters, Kyron played 2/3 of the snaps, 6 of 7 on third down, 4 of 5 inside the 5. If you'd like, I'll tell you how many fourth quarter carries Corum had, because I would imagine.
Hey, how about all those great replacement options for the Rams passing him?
Yeah,
half of Corum's runs came in the fourth quarter.
I think Tutu Atwell ran 7 or 8 routes. Gosh, what a horrible call I made. I know that I love Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, I told you Jordan Whittington would be better, you idiot. 2.9 fantasy points I got. Ha!
Oh man, and he threw 5 touchdowns, and like none of them were good.
Devontae kind of came through. Stafford really played a great game too. In the first half, he was the definition of taking what the Jaguars would give him. He had a lot of checkdowns, and speaking of almost touchdowns, Colby Parkinson had an almost touchdown on a screen that ended up with Devontae scoring from a yard out. But it was really Stafford not really getting pressured that much. And then when he was pressured, he was just finding an open guy underneath. It was easy for him.
All right, to the Jaguars, who are you guys more worried about? Travis Etienne, I believe he's had 3 bad games in a row. Or is that right, Travis Etienne? Yes.
Right. 2 bad games in a row.
What's that?
It's definitely 2 bad games in a row.
Yeah, it's 3 games in a row with single-digit PPR fantasy points. Yikes.
Ooh.
That's against Kansas City, Seattle, and now the Rams. It's a tough slate.
Yeah.
Etienne or Brian Thomas Jr., who followed up his great game with 3 catches, 31 yards on 7 targets. Who are you, Jamie, more concerned about?
More concerned about Etienne. I think there's definitely a buy low window here. So take advantage of it with him on his bye and coming off these 3 bad games, because I still think there's a lot of potential there. But I think in the case of Brian Thomas Jr., despite the fact that Travis Hunter is getting, or at least got going in this game, they need him to be special. And I hope that that's what comes out of their bye week, is what we saw the 2 games prior to this, is Brian Thomas being more like Brian Thomas, at least the guy that we thought he can be. So they just can't run the ball right now. Like, this is a team that's really struggling to get going. And I think based on their defense, like, we could see them in a few more shootouts. So I'm a little bit more concerned about Etienne and getting back to the level he was at. I was more encouraged by Brian Thomas coming this game. This is just a bad game overall for the Jaguars. They just look lost. And their offensive line for 2 weeks in a row really looked bad.
So who would you rather have rest of season? It's a slightly different question. I said who you're more worried about, but all 3 of you will go Jamie, Dave, Heath. Who would you rather have rest of season, Etienne or Brian Thomas Jr.?
Thomas.
Yeah, agreed.
Interesting. Okay. Next game, New England 31, Tennessee. A lot of crappy games today. My goodness.
1 o'clock slate was as awful as I've ever seen.
Today?
Yes.
Yeah. Brutal. All right. What do we got for New England and Tennessee?
At least the Broncos and Giants game was good. You should just drop any Titans you're rostering and save yourself the heartache.
Bro, I am thinking about dropping Cam Ward in a super flex league.
Oh.
It's like, what's the point?
I mean, that was so exciting when he threw that touchdown, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, exciting, except I'm starting Shamari DK in the league I'm tanking in. Where I still lost. But all right, so that's a good one.
That's like the Giants, right? Do we get
Yeah.
to call it a Giants if somebody does really good on your team when you're tanking, but then you still pull out the loss at the end?
Yeah.
You know what's
Sure.
pretty pathetic for them is Will Levis was playing better than Cam Ward is right now.
Oh,
That's
I don't
pretty
know
good
if I
fumbling.
would agree.
I mean, statistically, he was.
Well, it's a good question though. Would you drop every Titan that you have?
I think you've got to hang on to Pollard. Just position scarcity, the fact that he can at least give you double-digit PPR points. He did that today. But otherwise, yeah, kind of. Spears maybe is a bench guy, but what's he really going to do for you during the bye weeks? We've talked about him every week as someone that you can add and stash, and what we've gotten out of him so far has been like belly button lint. It's how
Would
do
you rather
you trust the receivers? 16 PPR points for Spears in his last 2 games combined. So maybe better than belly button lint. I apologize for that, but it's still rough offense, tough to watch, and there isn't anybody that's got a ton of upside.
Would you rather have Brian Thomas Jr. or Stephon Diggs? So it's 7 catches on in a Pokemon game. 7 for 69 on 7 targets for Stephon Diggs. Diggs or Brian? No, I didn't mean Brian Thomas Jr. Sorry, Diggs or Travis Hunter rest of season.
Diggs.
I'll lean Diggs.
Yeah, I'd go Thomas Diggs Hunter.
Yep.
Let's go to our next game. Let's see. We have another crappy one on the schedule.
But
Yeah.
does he really though, Heath?
What'd you say?
Does he really dig Hunter?
Oh, I would say Dan would be like, "See, I don't get it. That's a dad joke. Is that supposed to be funny? That's funny. That makes it." Cleveland.
Hey, you could drop Hunter Henry for Oronde Gadsden.
There we go.
Are we
Yes.
done with Hunter Henry? Are we
Yes.
done with Chigo?
Although, to be fair, 3 straight road games. He is not big on the road. They goes back home next week against Titans.
I'll promise you, if you drop him for a run
Not
day
Titans,
Gadsden, he's going to score 18 fantasy points.
He
Yeah.
gets Cleveland. Next week.
I promise you.
Let's just take a look at the most dropped tight end every week and rank them in the top 12.
Perfect.
All right, Cleveland 31 and Miami 6.
Oh, the Dolphins. Let's be positive. Believe it or not, Quinshon Judkins is a top 5 running back rest of season.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Too far. You went too far.
Where do you think he ranks in points per game for the season?
6th.
I don't know.
8.
I do know. Do you want to know?
Yes.
14.
Correct.
So Barkley or Judkins rest of season?
Judkins.
Judkins.
Wow, man.
You want to know where Saquon Barkley ranks?
No.
All right.
I don't need that nausea. So I guess it's worth noting that the 2 bad weather games, and Caleb had a horrible game. There was no passing in this game. Rattler threw 3 picks, but actually did have some decent throws.
Tua threw 3 picks.
Yeah. Oh man. And Tua fumbled 3 times and didn't lose any of them.
Did anyone throw a passing touchdown in either game?
Yeah. Rattler
Rattler
threw.
Yeah.
Rattler threw 1. Oh, no, he threw 2 to Olave. That's right.
Yeah. But we poo-pooed the weather. I don't know that was the factor, but I do think it's just worth noting that the passing was really bad in those games. But what do you make of this Waddle game? Are you going to go right back to him? He had 1 catch for 15 yards. Next week they have Atlanta, which is tough.
We got to see who the coach is. If Mike McDaniel survives this, I'd be shocked.
Regardless, there's 6 teams on a bye and 18 wide receivers are hurt. If Jalen Waddle is playing football in a dome, I'm going to start him.
Yeah, I'm 100% going back to Waddle next week. Maybe not if they bench Tua, but I don't think that's in the cards.
Kansas City 31.
The Louisville Cards or just the Cards?
Would have been so good if the Cardinals game was next, but it's not next. Kansas City 31, Las Vegas.
Didn't hear that, so he's not
No,
getting
he
mad.
didn't hear that, but I did.
What would you say?
No, you'll hear it on the playback.
I made the same joke you did. I just used the college version.
No, that's what I was piggybacking off of your joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I felt that. All right, Chiefs 31, Raiders nothing.
I'm going to try to muster the same enthusiasm. Isaiah Pacheco is back. Isn't that how you said it about the Eagles?
Yeah.
I want to know if Adam believes it.
No, if Kareem Hunt is hurt, then I would think he's a
Well,
starter. But short of
again,
that, no.
6 teams on a bye. He's playing Washington next week. They're going to dominate time of possession if Marcus Mariota is the quarterback and that receiving core looks the way it does again. Like, he's going to be in the borderline number 2 running back range.
Yeah, but that doesn't make him back.
Well, I mean, he spent about 5 minutes as definitively more than that. in his
Oh,
career.
really? You mean the entire 2023 season when he was good? When he was like a top 16 running back or something? And a second round pick the following year? No, he's not back to that. No, seriously, he just doesn't have a good enough role. He doesn't play third down. He doesn't play short yardage. So that's Kareem Hunt. If Kareem Hunt's hurt, then I think we're all going to be. If Kareem Hunt does not play, I assume it would be a big impact on Isaiah Pacheco's ranking, right?
They continue to try to get Rashard Smith. He's not showing very well running between the tackles yet, but that they are trying to push that envelope. They want that.
Pacheco played 62% of the snaps with Mahomes today. I don't know if he's had a game. He's had 1 game this year, 2 games this year where he's had over 62% of the snaps.
It's his 2 most recent games, right?
It is. So maybe there is a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel, but it's really hard when Kareem Hunt's there. And even today in the snaps with Mahomes, Hunt bogarted on third down and inside the 5.
Would you guys rather have Quinshon Judkins or Rashee Rice rest of season?
Rice.
What's the format?
Half PPR.
Probably Rice. If it's non-PPR, you might talk me into Judkins, but I'd have to think about that.
Do you think Rice is a top 10 receiver going forward?
Yeah.
He was ranked that way for me going into the week.
All right. Philadelphia 28, Minnesota 22.
You should drop Dallas Goedert for Oronde Gadsden.
You picked the wrong tight end to do that with.
I think, I don't know how much you care about this, but the last time he faced the Giants, he had 9 catches, 110 yards and a touchdown.
You had the Hawkinson almost touchdown, right?
Oh, that's right. Hawkinson did have a touchdown overturn.
Yeah. And he had 9 targets too.
I've decided I'm just going to trail Dave, and whatever tight end he drops for Oronde Gadsden, I'm picking him up and I'm starting him next week. I don't care who it is.
Hunter Long, baby. Here you go.
Yeah.
I don't think Dave's got him on any rosters.
I started him today.
Never.
I would love Oronde Gadsden.
I want to know what league you started Hunter Long.
Fake Burger Dynasty League.
Oh, are you tanking?
No.
He's probably tanking.
Oh, he's good.
No, he was 500.
He has Tua on his team, and he has the consecutive letters TUA in his team name. No. He has Tua Tagovailoa. He has TAG in his team name. So I always search for tag, and it gotta go by is Jamie's team name. It has TAG in there. It's very.
I will say I got to 500 without Rashee Rice, and getting him back is a nice gift. I may be Thomas this week. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but we're close.
Look at that. All right.
If I can only beat Dan, maybe he'll
Dominant Dan.
I think he is having a close match this week, and if I might just change my team name to Dominant Dan Lost if he loses.
Adam, earmuffs. Take off your earmuffs. Heath, I'm gonna
He's still listening.
I'm gonna give Tim all of my good players the week that he plays Dan, so he could beat Dan.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
Am I good now?
Should we just tell Adam to not put his headphones back on?
All right, let's move on here. We talked about Jordan Addison. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to say about Jordan Mason. He didn't have a catch, but he did. Let's talk about Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones should be back pretty soon. How are we feeling about Mason, Dave, rest of season?
I don't love him. I think he does make the cut as a top 24 running back by default, especially if it's non-PPR, but I don't know if he's done enough to distance himself from Aaron Jones when Jones is back.
But wasn't that the case when they were playing together that he was the lead runner?
He was the lead runner, but I don't know if that means that he's going to get what did he have today? He had 15 carries. How many, did he even have 3 catches today?
He had 0.
Okay. So 15 touches for Jordan Mason when Aaron Jones comes back seems like close to the max that he would get unless it's a game that Minnesota just builds a huge lead in.
High end flex, I think.
Would you rather have Jordan Mason or a Panthers running back rest of season?
That's a great
I'd rather
question.
have Rico because I think it's a similar situation. You're talking about two tandems.
Would you rather have A.J. Brown or Cortland Sutton? Because A.J. Brown had a great game, but he only had 6 targets. Yeah, he's had 8 or more targets, I think, in 4 straight games before this. So it just went to Devontae Smith today. I don't want to be discouraged on A.J. Brown, but he's had a tough season. I don't know if you'd consider selling him after this. So we'll start with that Sutton question. Sutton or A.J. Brown?
I think it's really close. I'd lean Sutton.
I lead Sutton also.
I'm going to say AJ Brown. The
Okay.
Eagles are back.
Hope so.
I mean, Hurts deserves credit. He threw the ball really well today. Was
He's
good.
a very good quarterback.
All right. Chicago 26, New Orleans 14.
He was today.
Oh, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to fight you so bad right now. You should drop Oronde Gadsden for Alvin Kamara. No. Believe it or not, Chris Olave.
You had that backwards though.
Yeah. Well,
It worked, though.
maybe. Chris Olave is better than any Bears wide receiver rest of the season.
Ooh.
I don't believe it. I still
don't
believe in
believe
Odunze.
It was a good one, though.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
This was the Heath Dave Bet Bowl because we had
Oh,
Swift
you
versus
lost.
Kamara. Oh, I'm dead in the water. And so is the Saints' run defense because the Bears absolutely crushed them on the ground. I don't know if I can remember the last time the Bears were this dominant on the ground.
Last week.
This dominant? 200 plus rushing yards?
No, because Swift's big play was in the passing game last week. Not that he was bad as a rusher, but
No,
yeah.
he had over 100 yards, Heath, right? Last week, Swift?
I think so.
Yeah. He's putting it together. The offensive line's starting to do better as far as run blocking goes. There's still some times where they can't get the snap right, which has got to be frustrating for Ben Johnson. But the Saints came into this game with a really good run defense over their last 3 or 4 games, and the Bears just stomped them. It was impressive. Monangai looked great. It's the best he's looked. They've got a 1-2 punch here, but Swift is like the clear one. And if you've got him, you should feel great about having him. He's having a terrific year. He is on pace. Where does he rank, Heath?
He is currently RB11.
Look at that. He's ahead of Saquon Barkley. We could have done Barkley versus Swift, and I would have lost. He deserves credit, man. You do too, Heath. It's a great game.
I think in just to Heath's point, or believe it or not, if they are running the ball this well, this could clearly hurt Odunze in the passing game.
Right.
Hurt
And
Caleb
so
Williams.
Olave,
Yeah.
they're going to be chasing points every week. So Olave may be better.
I know.
And they are back to back for the season. Odunze has wide receiver 17. Chris Olave is wide receiver 18.
Where were they coming into the week, though?
Well, right, but
Right. It's huge. I know. This week happened. But I don't think Olave is going to be – he's already been very good for PPR. I don't know, very good.
No, he hasn't.
He's been good for PPR.
he's averaged 14.9 PPR fantasy points per game.
Yeah, now. But before this week, he was not that good.
Well, I
He's what it
mean,
was.
look, the targets have been consistent. That's nice.
Yes, that's huge.
You have to wonder, do they make a quarterback switch at some point just because that could come? And then does that help him or does that hurt him? I would think it hurts him. So you have to factor that in.
All right.
I guess. I mean, based on merit.
You wonder if he's traded too.
Ooh, that's a good call.
All right.
All right.
Welcome-
Olave came into the week averaging 12.9 PPR points per game. And Odunze was at 16. He was at 17 PPR points per game.
Jeez, the gap closed that much after this game.
Man, 2 touchdowns and 98 yards versus nothing almost for Odunze. Of course it's going to close.
Well, I get it, but that's a lot of points. I think it's one thing that's good is that I mentioned a few weeks ago that the Saints were so bad with explosive plays in the passing game. They just were getting nothing. Well, last 3 weeks, you had the long Shaheed touchdown against the Giants. You had Olave first play of the game against the Patriots with a big play. You had Olave with at least one, I think 2 big plays today. So they're starting to hit on some big plays. It's making a big difference, and hopefully it can last. You like Odunze better than Olave. Who would you rather have rest of season, Odunze or DeAndre Swift?
I'll take Swift.
Maybe Swift. Like, that's how impressed I've been with their run game now, 2 straight weeks.
All right. Carolina 13, Jets 6, Jets 6.
I mean, really.
Say something about the Panthers running backs.
The Panthers don't. I don't know. I got literally no idea.
Okay, buy or sell. Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard are not.
That is, believe it or not.
Oh, my bad. True or false? Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard are not top 24 running backs rest of season.
Each or together?
Like, no, each. Neither one of them is a top 24 running back, believe it or not.
Oh, I think Dowdle can be.
It's a soft answer.
No, if I get either, then I'll say one of them will be.
Okay, but how do you compare that? Are they a better version of Pollard and Swift?
Yes.
Pollard and Swift?
No, but they're
No, I don't think they're better than Swift.
DeAndre Swift?
Spears. My bad.
I know what
Yes,
you meant. Yeah.
they are a better version.
They're obviously better, but is that the kind of backfield you're seeing?
No.
Pretty even split.
Yes.
No.
I wonder if they take a look at the film and see that Chuba, who averaged 2.2 yards per carry, just isn't giving them what they want right now. They know that he's coming back from the calf injury. Dowdle ran hot the 2 weeks prior. But they gave Chuba more work. They gave him more of the high value touches. He played way more on third down, both of their snaps inside the 10. I don't know what they're thinking by putting so much more on Chuba's plate, even though, like, yes, Dowdle had more carries, but the snaps went Chuba's way. If this happens again, they're going to make a shift toward Dowdle. And I almost think they have to do it. Like, I don't know what more he has to prove.
Yeah, but it's also he's coming off an extended absence with a calf injury, and he may be better next week.
Go ahead.
Yeah, how do you think our listeners are going to respond to that interjection there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Interesting. I'm gonna guess most people are gonna prefer Dowdle. They're gonna start Dowdle, and I would still want to roster Chuba
because it was so loud.
It was
Yes.
very loud.
It's not only that. Do you know how many people started Rico Dowdle this week expecting him to go off again? And then on the show wrapping up the week, we're talking about we're trying to like feel our way through this dumb backfield, and you're gonna break down a rock ballad of happy birthday.
Wait, if you think, Dave, I'm sorry, since you're gonna insult me, I'm gonna throw it right back at you.
Here we go.
Please, by all means.
If you started Rico Dowdle thinking he was gonna go off this week, you were insane. You should not have thought that. You should not have ranked it that way. We knew Chuba Hubbard was gonna have a role. This was not a surprise.
You think it was gonna be this big of a role?
I didn't know what it was going to be, but I certainly didn't think Rico Dowdle was going to go off this week. I wanted to get him out. I was hoping I could bench him for Emmanuel Wilson.
I was just hoping Adam was going to go off this week. So thanks, Dave.
No, but
This
I
is
haven't
now
seen
like
Adam's
the
shoulders
fifth
that high in
different
a long
version of
time.
Adam we've seen on the show. It's great.
You should
Rico Dowdle, Adam, you just insulted 85% of our audience.
No, there's no way people thought he was going to go off. I'm not saying
Well, there's a difference between starting him.
It was 85%.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. Please, voice
There's a
of
difference
reason.
between starting him and expecting him to quote unquote go off.
Where'd you have him ranked,
Okay,
Dave?
that's fine.
Yeah, okay. I think you
No,
poor word choice.
It was a little bit of an exaggeration, but everybody started him with expectations that he'd be a number 2 running back. I had him ranked as a number 2 running back.
Isn't that
This
bad?
was a surprise, and it was disappointing.
He wasn't that bad. I
He
mean,
had a solid game. He just didn't score.
yeah, he was okay. All right, let's move on to
Do the rest of the show like this.
I'm just gonna stand up. Let's move on.
You're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
By the way, we're not real quick. We don't care about Xavier Leggett's big game, do we?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy for him.
Against the Jets.
Should we talk about
This was
Tedero
the- This was
McMillan?
the number 2 receiver bump. I thought it would be Jalen Coker. Unfortunately, it was Liggett.
Yeah.
Like if you picked up, believe it or not, if you picked up Jalen Coker or had him stashed, you should drop him and pick up Xavier Leggett instead.
You missed such a good joke opportunity. You should have said Oronde Gadsden.
Oh, yes, you should have said Oronde Gadsden. And you know what? I might.
That I would be on board.
I think Coker's plenty droppable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially if it's Andy Dalton.
Are you panicking if you have Tedero and McMillan?
No. I expected this. I did not expect him to go off. I thought he was going to stink, and he did.
Sauce is pretty good. And
Is Sauce Gardner okay?
He's got a concussion. He didn't play. I think he missed basically the entire fourth quarter. At that point, they had the lead. They barely threw the ball. So McMillan didn't really have a chance. And then Dalton came in, and we can talk about that on Tuesday. Dallas 44. We get to the late window here. Dallas 44, Washington 22. Heath, what do you got?
George Pickens did just enough that you can still sell high.
Nope. Don't believe it.
In what respect? Don't sell high on him?
No, I don't think you can sell high on him. You can sell him.
Maybe send along a highlight package of the catches he made, because if you got extra fantasy points for style, George Pickens would have had a fantastic day.
He had a 20% target share. That's higher than either of the first two games. Only 30 pass attempts for Dak, which is unusual. 6 catches. No, I'm sorry. How many catches? 6 targets, 4 catches, 82 yards on 6 targets for Pickens. So are we encouraged or discouraged?
I think he's going to be a number 2 receiver the rest of the season.
I agree.
I think he's going to be a probably a boom bust number 3. Probably going to be a number 2 this week.
Well, I mean, if you're talking that way about Pickens, how do you feel about Jake Ferguson? He had 7 targets, caught all of them. Pokemon, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns for Jake Ferguson.
I would not drop him for Oronde Gadsden.
Valid.
You guys did put him in the set it and forget it category. So
of course he is. I wonder, just based on the question you asked earlier and the response about, there's all the receivers on a bye, et cetera. Who would you rather have rest of season, Heath? Jalen Waddle or George Pickens?
That's a good one. I'd probably still take Waddle.
I think I would too, but there's going to be so much more volume with a better quarterback and a guy who's been much more productive in his role, or not much more productive, excuse me, because roles have changed for both of them. I think I'd rather have the guy attached to Dak Prescott right now.
All right. So last question in this game. Bill, not so good. Disappointing. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Dave, how are we feeling about him?
Awful. I'm not sure how confident I would be to start him when he's had 2 very good matchups on paper each of the last 2 weeks, and he's been miserable.
Yeah.
Pickens I don't know what else I can really add to that. He's got Kansas City next week. That's going to be very difficult. I don't see how you start him unless you're just plumb out of running backs.
Just rest of season, Pickens or Bill? What do you think?
I'm ready to go Pickens.
Probably Pickens.
Pickens. All right.
Could you make the case for Krosky-Merritt as a buy low? Because
yes.
I'm sure the way I feel is the way that everybody who has him feels.
I just think you have to recognize that he's probably not going to catch. I mean, maybe 2 catches a game. He's going to be one of those running backs. So that's a problem. It works for Quinshon Judkins. It's not working for him. But maybe if they actually had McLaurin and Debo and Jaden Daniels healthy, that would be good for him.
Yeah,
there you go. Just have a great offense.
I take it back. I don't think I can make the case for currently buying low on Bill, because I think you're going to have multiple opportunities in the next 3 weeks.
Okay. Colts 38, Chargers 24.
And said with such like a macabre voice.
We did Daniel Jones. Oh, believe it or not, Quentin Johnston is back.
Oh, come on.
I think he had multiple drops. They may not have called them drops.
One of
2
them
catches on 6 targets. 4th on the team in targets.
Yeah.
He's not in an almost touchdown category, but Justin Herbert's first interception was such a bad throw
in the
behind Quentin Johnston. He might have dropped it, but could have given a better opportunity. But how do you miss the Oronde Gadsden joke?
Yeah, I know. How did you not do an Oronde Gadsden here?
You can't overplay it. You guys are ruining it. You gotta just let it sit, let somebody just almost forget about it, and then boom.
I obviously have a lot of Quentin Johnston, and the thought has certainly occurred to me that I just made a huge mistake by not selling him. But
Right.
I don't know that people were really going to buy into it. So whatever we can get, I'm still going to start him. He had caught a touchdown. He gets a lot of end zone targets. I'm still going to start Quentin Johnston, but
Keenan Allen or Quentin Johnston rest of season.
Quentin Johnston.
But it got a lot closer.
Does anybody think it's Keenan Allen?
I'll take Allen.
Yeah, I'd probably take Allen.
Wow.
Let's take a second to talk about Jonathan Taylor. I believe he has 4 games this year with 29 or more fantasy points. It's unbelievable what he is doing. Is there anything to say about Jonathan Taylor?
He's
awesome. I would take him over
drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire over him.
I mean, he just deserves. We just take him for granted, and he wasn't a first-round pick. And there were reasons to be a little fearful of him. Everything has gone so much better for this offense than we ever could have anticipated. But this guy is arguably the MVP of fantasy right now.
Yeah, they have the best offensive line in the NFL.
It's up there for sure. But part of it is because it's the healthiest.
So the perfect start to a draft was McCaffrey, Taylor, JSN.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked to have had Puka Nacua.
Yeah, but you either had to take
a week.
No, I think it would have been, you would have to either take Puka or Taylor.
Yeah. Could I have Puka and Taylor as my reach for one, grab the other?
Puka over McCaffrey?
I would take Bijan over both.
I would take Bijan over.
Well, yeah, but he was at 1. And the back end, I guess maybe Taylor was going to be there.
McCaffrey's obviously playing right now. Going into this game, week 7, 6 straight games with, I want to say, 22 or more PPR fantasy points. He had never done that in his career.
It's true.
Unreal. All right, Green Bay 27. Weird game here. Green Bay 27, Arizona 23.
Yeah, it was a really one of 3 close competitive games, and it was just gross to watch. Yeah, believe it or not, you should try to hold on to Bam Knight through the bye.
Don't believe it.
I will.
He's droppable, but I would try to hang on.
Let me check one thing real quick. All right, so week 8, he's out with the bye. Let's see.
At Dallas, week 9.
Yeah, so that's good, but who's on bye week 9?
Cleveland,
4 teams. Sure. It's Cleveland. It's the Jets. It's the Eagles. It's the Bucks.
So we got 4 must-start running backs there, right? So I think it's a case to be made, at least, for keeping Bam Knight.
Agreed.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is still roll him out there or what? This was 2 catches for 58 yards on 6 targets from Jacoby Brissett.
If you sit him, he's going to score 25 points.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but all right. And then Romeo Doubs. So I think that the savvy fantasy manager is not going to buy Romeo Doubs because they expect Jaden Reed back soon, Christian Watson, whatever. But would you guys try to sell Romeo Doubs? Do you think he is a sell high if anyone's buying?
Sure, but I don't know if anyone's buying.
I think he's a wide receiver 3.
He's in that mix for sure.
And I think it's probably how people of 8+ targets, right? So you keep saying Jaden Reed. I mean, I don't know when Jaden Reed's coming back. Christian Watson could return soon.
And Jaden Reed's pretty much never earned as many targets as Romeo Doubs.
No, but it'll impact his targets.
Right.
I mean, Doubs wasn't doing this when Reed was healthy at the start of the season. I do think that there's if I'm making a trade, and this goes both ways, whether I'm selling or buying, Doubs is a perfect trade chip to put into each side of the deal because you're getting somebody that I agree with you. He's a wide receiver 3, but this is a pretty good floor because the targets that he's getting. But right now, Jordan Love is not playing very well.
Is Matthew Golden is Matthew Golden in the same boat as TreVeyon Henderson?
No, I feel much better about Matthew Golden than I do TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not dropping either one.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. This was an excellent show. And
did we get to every game?
We did every game. There was not a single game that we
missed the game of the week. Here come the Giants.
Stupid Giants. I was gonna write a poem for them.
Oh, that's here.
Now it was gonna be G is for G. I can't believe how bad you are. I is for I can't believe how bad you are. But I decided not to do it. Just the G and the I guess.
I mean, but you're 30% of the way there, so why don't you just continue it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else good.
They have two awesome fantasy football players.
They do.
And Wandale's pretty good.
Look, Jackson.
And really, honestly, like, you want to know how I really feel about it? They would have been lucky to win that game. They had so many dumb things go their way. It was a completely bogus pass interference call on the Broncos that gave them the last touchdown. The touchdown before that, Wandale Robinson bobbled it into the air and somebody else caught it and ran for 40 yards. It was a complete fluke. Like, they didn't deserve to be in that game.
They were winning 13-0 at halftime. They dominated for 3 quarters. I agree.
Bo Nix slept walk for like 45 minutes, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, we should probably win."
Oh, it's the Giants. We can't do this.
I mean, look, Jackson Dart. I did not take Jackson Dart seriously as a 1 QB league fantasy option. He just scored 34 points at the Denver Broncos. Two quarterbacks were better than that last year against Denver: Jameis Winston and Joe Burrow. Nobody's come even close to that this year.
And he did it without rushing.
Right.
Yeah, I think Drake May, Daniel Jones, Jackson Dart. Those are your top 3 quarterbacks the rest of the season.
But Jackson Dart's like 67% rostered. Is he a must-have guy?
Must have, yes. Must start, kind of, sort of. I mean, how do you
19 or more fantasy points in all of his starts so far? Like, and he gives you what we like, which is the rushing potential. So prior to this, 3 straight games with at least 50 yards on the ground. And for what it's worth, he's been over 5 fantasy points with just his rushing totals alone in every start. So he's giving you that potential there with whatever he can do as a passer. And I know it's not anything to write home about, but maybe when Slayton comes back, there's just another little bump because it's another player that can make some plays. So, again, we had 6 teams on a bye next week. He already scored 25 fantasy points against the Eagles last week. I know it was the injuries and whatnot that the guys that were missing there for Philadelphia. And now you got to go to Philadelphia. So a little different situation, but top 15 quarterback at worst. It's hard to overlook that.
Oh God. Go ahead, Schaefer. What is this?
What is it? Oh, that's the alien guy.
What is that?
With Azer's face.
It looks like an AI mix of Azer and Dan's face.
I don't see any of Dan.
Who are we supposed to be? The alien guy? What is that?
If Adam and Dan had a baby?
I don't know what that is. Doesn't look anything like Jason.
There's no way there's.
But thank you for sharing, Thomas.
Bo Nix or Jackson Dart rest of season?
I kind of want to say Dart.
I'll take Dart.
All right.
The Philly game on the road is going to be tough for him because he's seeing them again for a second time. So it could be rough, but a bad game for him is like 19 or 21 fantasy points.
Yeah.
And then after that, it gets really easy. He plays the Raiders in week 17. Like, he's going to end up being pretty.
You skipped all the way to 17.
Yeah.
No, I mean, do you really want to hear me read off the schedule for the rest of the year? Or do you want
after that, it gets really easy in the playoffs.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to play us out. Happy birthday, Jamie. I hope it was a great day, man. Oh, he left? What the hell? I was going to sincerely wish him a happy birthday.
It's really rude when people don't celebrate their birthdays.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.